All right, well, welcome to another episode of Cash Cars and Superstars. I'm Hey Yo Chuck, and we got Benny the Captain, and today's superstar of a guest today, we got Mr. Film Director Axe. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I've never been around so many beautiful cars all at the same time.
Really? Yeah.
So.
Well, we got that kind of effect over here.
Me either.
He's actually being sarcastic. He's used to it.
Yeah.
Lucky
guy.
So for folks that don't know who you are, which is typically our viewers kind of don't know who our guests are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Axe. You know, you're a film producer, film director rather, but a producer, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do both.
You do both, yeah.
I was born and raised in Havana, Cuba.
Okay.
And I came to America in 2012. I went to a film festival in Canada, and then I came across the border and came as a refugee to the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And I produced films and directed projects, and I work with artists like Bad Bunny, Peso Pluma, Eladio Carrion, Sebastian Yatra. I worked on TV shows as a location manager for Apple TV, NBC, Amazon, Sony. Currently, I'm the lead producer for Tom Bill You from Impact Theory.
Okay.
We do a massive, amazing podcast and a talk show that we do on YouTube. And I have one of my films, Literary Inc., is on Apple TV. And, I'm here in Hollywood. I've been here for about 4 years. I'm obsessed with movies, with stories. I love to grab a camera and find something to shoot and make beautiful stories. So
okay, I saw that film that you were working on, Literary Inc.
Yeah.
And that was a cool little film. It's kind of like a documentary, right?
Yes, that one is a documentary that follows 4 different tattoo artists. A girl from Australia, another girl from Tennessee, a guy from Cuba, one of my best friends from Cuba, Aniel, and another artist from California, from Northern California. And, tattoos are beautiful. Like, I love looking at them.
Right.
I love seeing the artist working on the tattoo, and it's this visually interesting thing to me. And one of my best friends that we got out of Cuba together, and we know each other and we know our passion. And he was a fine artist, and then he became a tattoo artist. And then I learned through him all the intricacies of that art. So that movie, I was just for a period in my life, I was obsessed and looking at what he was doing and seeing. It's crazy, bro. Do you guys have any tattoos?
No.
Chuck, sorry. Chuck, you have a tattoo. You should show it to him.
Yeah. It's on my right side of my ass.
It's a little hard with wings.
He has my initials. It says Benny on one side and Captain on the other.
It's crazy when we're talking about tattoos. My parents, as I was growing up, they didn't allow me to express my art on my skin. You know what I mean? But I've always wanted to when I was younger. But now that I'm getting older, I'm like, you know what? This is kind of it's overrated for me, at least, because when you're dealing with a lot of professional people, and you have tattoos all over the place, they kind of judge you upon your appearance.
But I feel that has changed a lot.
It has changed.
I think
now.
It's become much more liberal.
Oh yeah, it has changed. But back in the day, it was your tattoos. You got
because even when I was in high school, the company I worked for, you couldn't show any tattoos, and nowadays they allow it.
Right, nowadays, yeah. When I was younger, it was frowned upon to get tattoos.
Yeah.
But nowadays, definitely for sure, more liberal, and that's cool. What about you? Do you have any tattoos?
I have 0 tattoos, and I'll never get one.
Right, and what is the reason behind that? Is that your parents, or how you were raised, or the industry you're in?
I don't know. I love to look at them, and I love to learn about it, but I don't need to have any. And if I ever got a tattoo, I would get a full body piece, from my neck, my back, I would just go all in. So
wow.
I'm a very all in, all out type of guy.
And that's a serious situation, because if you have all in, an all in sleeve, I mean, you're not working for anybody else. You're working for yourself.
Yeah,
because you're basically an artist at that point.
Yeah, I would do a full body piece. So I met some of the people that create those pieces, and it's a separate art into itself. The bodysuits is what it's called.
Oh, wow. No, that's not for me, for sure.
Yeah, definitely not.
What about you, Ben? Any tattoos for you, maybe in the future?
But I was brought up, Jewish, so it's frowned upon in the Jewish religion to get a tattoo. I'm not religious, so I really I guess once I got into that phase of like not being religious, I was just like, I kept thinking like, should I get one? Will I get one? And I just never did.
Never got around it. But your film tells a story about it, and that's the cool part, is that it tells that story. So
the cool thing about tattoos is just the story behind each tattoo.
Right.
Because every tattoo typically has like a meaning or a memory to someone. And when you talk to them about it, it sparks a whole nother conversation.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, my buddy Lonnie has all kinds of tattoos about gambling and just all stuff that happened in his past. So you can just see it all on his arm. It just tells his story, you know. So I think it's cool. And that film that you were working on is also cool. I got to see a little bit of it. So now, you as a film director, occasionally you may need some of these scrumptious, luscious cars behind us,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You know, and so as a film director, are you in charge of picking out cars for different films, or different things that you're working on, different projects?
Yeah, so usually there are different people in the team that will be responsible or be touch points when it comes to cars.
Right.
So in a project that I did recently that we were talking about, that I needed that green Lamborghini, I was producing a music video for Peso Pluma and Eladio Carrion.
Dude, he's hot right now. Peso Pluma is hot. Like, I listen to him. It's crazy. I don't understand a goddamn thing that's in the fucking song, but I'll still listen to it only because it hits hard. It's got that like musical note, guitars type of stuff. So, but anyway, so you work with Peso.
Yes, so for that one, we got the call from another buddy of mine, Ovi. He's a director out of Miami. So he calls me on a Sunday. He's like, bro, I got a video for a big artist. We need to shoot tomorrow.
Oh, wow. No time given.
No time at all. So we didn't know who the artist was. We didn't know what the song was. We just knew, hey, we're going to shoot in LA. And my buddy Ovi, he had like an amazing treatment for the video. He was going to do this like out on the street, people like dealing drugs, and make it very cinematic.
And he needed that exotic car life.
He didn't.
He didn't?
It was the funny thing.
Oh,
he
wow.
did not. Like,
What made you want to add that into there?
so it wasn't me. This is what happened. And this is, I think the interesting part of like talking about all of this is that we get to talk about what happens behind the scenes and why some of the biggest movies and biggest music videos that you see, this is how it actually goes down.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I got to hear it.
So the initial idea was, we're going to find an old classic car, something like a little bit like your Porsche out there.
Sure.
But a little bit bigger, low rider, Cali vibes.
Right.
It's going to be like out in the hood, driving around, Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, like capture that LA vibe.
Right.
Dude, we start moving around. My brother C and I, we start looking for locations. We found this location, that location, that location. We start like finding all this graffiti walls. We get the whole thing almost ready. And then like at 9 o'clock that night, we get another call from the EP. And he's like, hey guys, the whole thing changed.
Oh, wow.
Like Peso needs to be at this time, at this place. And dude, we all had everything mapped out. We were going to shoot with the beautiful cars in this location. Like when you go downtown, like as you're driving downtown, you have City Hall to the right, and then to the left, if you go over a bridge, there's a little like sneak away location where if you look this way, you see the entire skyline of LA.
Right.
And you see all the like the containers, and there's a big graffiti wall. We were gonna shoot everything there as the sun was setting, but then we get the call from the label, and it's like, no, Peso is recording the schedule conflicts. You guys need to be at this place, and we need to shoot everything in the studio. And by the way, we need like a Lamborghini and 2 Ferraris. And it's 9 o'clock, and I need to have the car ready like by 11 a.m.
All right.
So
Wow, that's a tough demand.
it is. So in this case, I was the producer, so I had to make the shit happen.
Right.
So I'm not in charge of deciding, is it going to be the green Lamborghini or the red Ferrari? I just need to come to the table with like, I got these 7 cars. And then the director needs to pick one, and then Peso needs to pick the one he likes.
And I'm assuming there's a budget.
There's always a budget.
Well, we got to hear about that because my buddy here, he rents out these vehicles, and so you told me that you called him actually, right?
Yes,
you called the company for the green, but we didn't have it or something, or
no, you guys had it, so it was more of a timing thing. So I remember I was like, oh shit, like Lamborghinis, and I remember Candy Can.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So like my buddy Candy Can, he's always playing with your guys' cars.
Yeah.
And I always see his videos, and I'm always like laughing about the stupid shit that he does, but he's great. So I'm like, yo, Ken, I'm doing this video. I need a car. Hook me up with your people. So he got me the information, and I talked to several of you guys. Like I don't remember the exact names. I think it was someone named Alex.
Good memory.
Wow. And shout out to
Yes.
Candy Ken for the Drive LA love, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna have him on the show next. Looking
Yeah.
forward to do some podcasting with him. But so that's dope.
Yes.
So eventually you guys got a car.
So eventually what happened is,
Not from us.
not from you. So this is what happens with that. And this is the reason why I wanted to, after that, I was like, shit, I need to find a way to like connect with these guys for real, because we end up calling like 5 different vendors because we need to have things on tap.
Correct.
So like I remember I was driving to the location and I had my brother look on the phone, like literally Google exotic cars in LA, and whatever shows up first, call them. So we would call people, and I was on the phone driving on the Tesla, like going really fast. We can talk about that. That
Yeah.
doesn't-
Yeah, sure.
So I'm driving super fast on the phone with this random lady from a random website, and I'm trying to get a Lamborghini, and then she's telling me like, you need this and you need to reserve it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, okay, bye. Then we had one of my agents that I always work with, Layla from RCL Models. I always hire all the models for the music videos from her agency.
Hey, you handpicked the models?
Chill out there, buddy. Chill out there.
Well, how is he saying
He's
that
ready to go.
he picks the models? Do you handpick them?
Well,
Well, he doesn't
Look,
handpick
it's
us.
even more interesting. Funny thing, Chuck, it's way easier to find models than it is to find
Find cars,
Lamborghinis.
yeah.
Yes. So what happens with the models is I text the agent, and then 5 minutes later, my WhatsApp hits like 75 pictures of like the most beautiful women you could ever dream of
wow.
in LA.
Gusty.
He's gonna start hanging out with you a lot more.
But it's all professional. It's like
Yeah.
all of these models, like they're working. So you get the call, you get all the models, you send that over. We always have like a style that this video requires a woman that is going to look this certain way for the vibe of the
Right.
video, and a car that looks this way for the vibe of the video. That's all we're doing. So we send the cars to the artist, and we send all of the models to whoever's directing the video. Then they do a pre-selection, and then out of that pre-selection, we send to the artist, and then the artist signs off on like the final cast. And with the cars, it kind of happens the same. So I was gonna bring one of your guys' car, and then Layla, the agent, she also had a connection of someone who had a car. So we start working on that, and we're just getting bids out, because in 12 hours, I need to have those cars and
Right.
those models and the location and the food and the camera, and like everything needs to be ready. So the more options you have, the better, because you don't know if, let's say, we do the whole process with you and the car is about to be ready, and then something happens and then the car cannot make it. So I need to have 2 other cars on hold waiting to come and show up.
That way, if the
CJ is laughing
If
over there.
one
Your
stands him up,
your
he's got
brother
another
knows
one to
what's
back
up.
up.
So that's cool. So eventually you guys got a car.
Yeah,
You made it happen.
Yeah.
So do you know Peso Pluma personally?
I do not. So
Is he a cool guy though to be hanging around with and doing
well,
business with?
he was insane. He was like recording a new single.
How was the whole music video vibe? I mean, was it just crazy?
What do you think, CJ?
Girls, cars.
Oh, yeah,
exotic cars. I mean, there's got to be a crazy story, CJ, that we could tell.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just normal.
We'll have to check out the video.
Yeah, we got to check
Yeah,
out the
you can
music
check out the video. Yeah, it's called 77.
Click the link in the description.
77.
77. Yeah, I think you would like the video. I mean, the video ends up being like, we have 2 strippers, we have
76,
like 5
77.
models, we have like all of that. But for us, it's like we start shooting at this time. We need this. We need this. I'm a professional.
Right,
like
yeah.
to me, it's like, yeah, we're there. The mod, but to us, that doesn't mean any. Like, I
You
don't know.
care about that shit. You just want to get the job done.
I want to get paid.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't we all? And usually that happens after the film is done, right?
If things go well.
Right.
You might not. That's the other thing. Like in this industry, it's very difficult to get paid.
Right. Well, my buddy Ben knows a lot of other producers and people in the film industry. And, you know, Ben, you deal with these people all the time, you know, lending cars and renting out cars and such. You know, what's your biggest pet peeve dealing with these type of folks in this industry, you know, in the film industry?
I don't really have a pet peeve. I think the hardest thing is getting paid sometimes.
Right.
The invoices, they tend to sit on them for a while. You know, they'll say, oh, we're going to have the car for 4 hours. It's really 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
You know, and then they don't want to pay more. You know, it just depends. You know, the bigger productions, you know, look, we had one big production with a major company.
Which car was it? Tell us about the car.
It was like 12 cars.
Oh, wow.
So we had 12 cars. They ordered 12 cars. We set everything up, transportation, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. And the morning of, they're picking up, I think 10 a.m., 11 a.m., they canceled because it was gloomy. And they had no time to reshoot. They were like, hey, you know what? It's too gloomy. We're not going to shoot.
Damn.
And they were like, but we're still paying you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luscious.
Yeah, so they still paid. You know, that's a bigger production, but smaller stuff, like, yeah, it takes a while. And they paid. They'd pay for the whole thing. So that'd probably be my only thing. But and obviously sometimes you get calls late. Hey, we need this now, this now.
But how do you verify that it's real? It's like somebody like Axe calls you, right?
Yeah, but you could tell by the terminology. Even the employees know, like, hey, where's your CO? Can we get your COI? Can you have us add as additional insured? And like whatever comes out of that, they have a pretty good idea. Most of the time, they'll want one of the guys on set. You know, it's not like they're saying like, hey, there's a shoot and, you know, hand me the keys and leave the car. Right. So
yeah, for sure. I don't want to drive the car at all.
Yeah.
And we did not want the artist to drive either. Mm-hmm. So there was one, but we needed it for the shot in this case. So we had Peso like drive around the car and Eladio also. And funny thing, like, dude, we spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out how to sync up the damn Bluetooth to the.
Well, why did you need the Bluetooth to get synced to the car?
Because we needed to play the song.
Oh, for the background. Okay.
So we did one of those. It's called hostess tray, where we open the door and then we put all these blankets around the door and then we mount this like thing, like our gaffer Scott mounted this. Like basically like an arm that comes out and secures at the middle of the door.
Okay.
And then we mounted one of the Sony FX3 cameras with a smaller lens, so he could drive and then like look at the camera as he's driving and sing the
sing
song
at the same time, right?
So then I was like, man, I want this car for me, but am I really going to drive this as a daily?
Not as a daily.
What car did you end up getting?
We had, I don't know the specific models, but we had like a black matte, I think it was like an Aventador. Mm-hmm. And then we had, I think it was an SF90, and then another older Ferrari.
I feel like with these cars, and especially because you work in a really cool industry where they take care of you, you know, and if you can, you might as well splurge and get you an exotic car.
Oh, I want to have it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny. We were doing this documentary, and we went and filmed with the guy who created 5G.
Oh, wow.
Like, he created 4G and 5G. Right.
The 5G that's on my phone?
That is on your phone.
Oh, wow. And you know this guy?
I don't know him personally. I met him. We went to
Someone
his
needs
house.
to come up with 6G.
By the time they come out with that, who knows if we'll be around.
So imagine how much money this guy
had.
Yeah.
Balling out of control.
But he was like this nice guy. We went to his house and we asked him, like my buddy Noah, he was doing the interview. He was like, okay, so what's like car? Like, tell me the car. And the guy was like, yeah, I drive a Tesla.
Simple. You know, sometimes the people that have a lot of money, they enjoy the simpler things in life.
But this is the funny thing. He said, yeah, I had a Ferrari, but I didn't really like it. And Noah was like, really? But like, for how long? He's like, yeah, I drove it for like 10 years. They were like, oh, come on, bro. You got the Ferrari for 10 years, and now you're going to say you don't like it? Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to have... So this is my dream. Like, when I make it big time, this is what I want.
Quote him on this, guys. Viewers, keep watching.
I want to have every single Tesla. That's my little Tesla collection. And then I want to have, everything is red. And then I want to have a red Lamborghini.
Oh, wow.
A red Ferrari. And I think that's it. Maybe like an old car, like an old 1956 Chevy for my dad.
Right, yeah. Well, because I know in Cuba, they got the old school vehicles. Like, and when I'm talking
Everywhere.
about old school,
like
I mean,
50s, 40s.
they're still driving this shit, dude. Like, I saw
Cuba
a
is a little gold mine with the cars.
How did they get access to all those American Chevy 55?
Well, just back then, they could
remember
they
back
could,
in the day.
Yeah, but they still have that shit.
Yeah,
dude.
because all they're cut off. They were cut off from the world.
Well, where did they find parts?
We make them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Dang.
And when they opened up, like during the Obama thing, when they opened it up, everyone was trying to get cars from there, ship them back to here,
right,
refurbish them, and sell them, make a fortune. I was one of those guys.
What did you get?
By the time I got involved, it was like the system was so backed up, and then it closed, so that window closed. But yeah, Cuba is a gold mine for classic cars.
So when we go to Cuba, are we good when we go to Cuba or what?
Oh yeah, we're good.
The whole cash cars and superstars gang, bro.
Yeah.
I'd like to travel to Cuba. I'd like to travel.
Is it Cuba? Cuba.
So Cuba. So now, but it's like what, a 2-hour trip from Miami?
No.
45
it's like 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys were that close.
45-minute jet ride.
It's
cool. Like going to Vegas, but you're going to Cuba.
Right.
Now, what I want, so I have this idea for a movie that I want to do in Cuba. Imagine 2 1956 cars by the beach on a high-speed chase, like a helicopter, like flying with the camera. I want to do that.
That's cool. Well, we hope you take that back to your home, man. I mean, that's dope that you got high aspirations. Do you have any of these exotic cars in Cuba?
Not at all. So that would be sick. Like, we never saw anything like that.
Right. Is the infrastructure there? And what I mean is like, are the roads paved like how they are here to have, exotic cars like these?
Do they have cobblestone roads over there?
No, cobblestone is only on the historic district. So on the rest of the city, the roads are just trash. Like, you don't want to take your nice car there.
You don't want to take it, right? Yeah, dang. So, wow. So that's what an amazing, like, victory for you to come here and then, definitely, become successful and then take that back to your hometown. So I wish you the best, man.
Thank you.
So let's talk about some other projects that you plan on working on. Any future projects that you plan on working on that are going to have cars in it?
Yeah, right now we're working on a TV series that we want to pitch to Netflix. Right now, right this second, everything in the film industry is at a halt because we have the writer's strike.
Tell us about that. We saw something on Facebook for that. Ben and I saw something. What is the situation? What do the writers want? What are they demanding?
So the writers basically want better pay. Like, we all want money.
Right.
So it's all about the money.
But a lot of it has to do with like AI, right?
A little bit has the AI component to it, but the reality is it's all about the money and the residual income that you make.
Right, because I heard what they're doing is like essentially like they pick and choose when a writer can work on a show. So like if you're a writer on a show, instead of getting like in every episode, you only get like 1 or 2. And then what that does, it allows the producers to make more money because they're not having to pay all the writers.
Well, it's not quite like that. It's not that the producer is picking, you only write for this episode or this episode. The bigger problem is the streaming companies compared to the all linear TV network like ABC, NBC, all of that. So back in the day, 5 years ago, when everyone had more of the cable model or the network.
More controlled, yeah.
Well, you paid like a fee every month. And like, how much do people pay for cable? On average is like $80 to $120 a month.
Yeah, it's sometimes a lot more than that. Actually, we don't have cable anymore. I don't even have cable. I stream. So that's part of the problem is what you're mentioning.
That is the problem.
Right. So, but eventually, this guild or whoever, the writers, the people that are striking, this has to change because things have to become more accessible to people like you, me, the customer. And with cable, I just felt like dude, I wasn't watching the TV anymore. I was on my phone, and this is kind of crazy to describe. This is probably like in the last 2 years, and maybe it was because of COVID. I'm not too sure, but maybe COVID did have something to do with it. But I just said, dude, I haven't turned on my TV in months, which is crazy, right? Because now I got all these subscriptions on my phone. What's the point of having cable? And so I just got rid of it.
So you were paying, let's say, $100. Let's round it up.
No, bro, I was paying like $260 for cable.
Yeah, DirecTV's not cheap. I think we just put it in here, and because we want to watch sports.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing with streaming. It's harder on the sports stuff because they have all the contracts.
Right.
But
there's a way you can get it.
I just kept asking him, like, is there any way I can just have the sports channels? And he's like, no, you have to get this, and then we can have the sports channel.
Well, and now they have it. So Disney bought ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So they're bundling everything. They're creating all of these bundles.
And that's creating a problem.
100%.
Right.
But it's a conglomerate as it is, because NBC, Universal, Disney. It's really just NBC. I mean, I think Capcom's owned by Time Warner. It's basically Time Warner, NBC, and Disney.
And then you have
and
Netflix.
then Fox. But then the streaming channels. Yeah.
Yes. But the thing is that all of the big studios with the big networks created streaming offers.
Right.
They created apps. So NBC now they have Peacock.
Yeah.
Now take that you were paying $250, $260 comes down to how much do you pay for Netflix?
Dude, not even Netflix. I'm a Hulu guy, but like Hulu's like $30-$40 a month.
So that is like
That's
a
it.
huge decrease.
A huge difference, and that's what's causing this issue with the writers' strike.
Yes. And
well, that's a good perspective to know from, because actually I didn't know what they were arguing about, but it's obviously paid now,
But
right?
the actors are striking now too.
Yeah, so what's happening with the actors is that they're supporting the writers. So like in our community, like in our business, we all work together. So
Right.
like we are all together. A lot of the times what happens is the producers are a little bit separated. But this from like everyone else in theory, because everyone sees the producer as, oh, they're the guys making us work and they get all the money. But the producers don't even get all the money. It's not like that like it used to be before. It all depends on the project. Sometimes like I have lost money on projects that I put in my money before I got paid from the label to do something, and then there was miscommunication, and let's say something happened with the car, and then all of a sudden the budget, if it goes over budget, I have to cover that because I cannot burn my relationship with you.
Right.
And if something went down, I'm responsible. So I cannot tell you, hey, I won't be able to pay you because like I don't have the money because of whatever. So I've had to cover costs of my own. Now, with the writers, the actors, the producers, the directors also have a guild. It's all of them against the MPAA, like the Motion Picture Alliance. And that is the union, like the unions versus the big studios.
Right.
And then the studios are the ones that have to pay pensions to the unions, and they have to pay extra money, and they get the residual income that gets paid later to all of those people.
From those shows that are playing and playing. And
Right.
playing.
Yes.
Right.
But now the shows don't play and play anymore.
Right.
You just get a deal up front with Netflix or Hulu. So if I make a show for, let's say I make a movie and I want to put it on Netflix, I will get paid a licensing fee for a short period of time. So Netflix looks at my movie and says, with that movie, I could entice X amount of people to join and get a new subscription.
Right.
So they're not thinking about watch time long term and how many times they're going to play it.
They don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, for them it's a quick bit.
Yes.
That's why a lot of times on Netflix now it's just one season and done, and they
Right.
move on to something else.
Yes. And also the negotiations, when you have a hit TV show that goes over 3 seasons, all of the cast renegotiates her deal every season.
Yeah.
So on season 3, like, we need you. Like, we can't do the show without you. Like, people love you.
Right.
So they play hard to get, and they ask for more money. So season 3, 4, 5, 6, they cost more and more. So for Netflix, with that amount of money, they're better off getting 2 new shows than paying for like 2 seasons of an old show that is not going to feel, for you, the consumer, you feel like, oh, wow, there's a new show. So every month, oh, new show. You feel you're getting more.
Yeah, I'm always looking for that 2023 on there. That's me. I'm like, did I see this already? No. Okay, cool. Let's watch this. Okay, 2021. It's old. I probably watched it already. Yeah.
Yeah, those days of just flipping through the channels are over for me. I mean, and this was just like 2 years ago. I mean, I was flipping through channels 2 years ago. Now I'm on the phone. So hopefully they come to some type of agreement that they can make this change, but also make this change so that way the writers and the actors are all getting paid something fair. Because you can imagine the same thing is happening in the music industry. You know, because it's all subscription based. You know, you either have iTunes or Spotify or, you know, whatever. I don't even know if there's anything else.
Seemed like they figured it out with that. Yeah. So hopefully they figure out here.
They'll figure it out somehow, some way. Anyways, do you find that this strike, does this affect your industry with the cars and stuff like that?
It affects the cinema car stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're all those. I mean, we had a few production stuff that's on hold. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of my production guys are like, yeah, we're hurting really bad. Because they do picture cars. So for the high end stuff, we do a lot of the picture cars, like Beverly Hills Cop, the new movie with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
almost every car in there is one of our. I mean, they went through every car in inventory. It was
That's
crazy.
So cool.
It was pretty crazy.
I can't wait to watch that movie.
We even had crashed cars, and they were paying us for those crashed cars to have in certain scenes.
Do you think that movie will show up like on a Hulu or Netflix or something like that?
I think it's going to be a theater movie.
Oh, okay,
yeah, the new
cool.
Beverly Hills Cop movie. I think it's going to go into theaters. Yeah. Yeah,
that's cool. Well,
it was funny. Somebody was like, "Oh my God, Eddie Murphy's driving our car." Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool. I bet.
I like that whole series, so it was really cool to be a part of that and help out.
Absolutely.
What about Fast and Furious? Did you guys get any cars in the Fast?
No, I never got into that. But they a lot of times they don't shoot in LA. Sometimes they do, but.
Yeah, the last one they shot here. So I work with a location manager. Mm-hmm. His name is Boyd. He did all the locations for the last.
I haven't seen that last one.
Yeah, it was insane. They shot all over LA, but they shot it like a long time ago, and it took them forever to like finish the movie. And then COVID happened, so they delayed the release, and then the movie came out.
Yeah, but they use a lot of like muscle cars and like Japanese like custom cars. They do a lot of crazy stuff to those cars.
So for a big production like Fast and the Furious, how long does it take from start to finish? 2-3 years?
I think that one was like 2 years.
Yeah, editing alone is probably a year.
Yeah, wow. Well, so much for editing.
Yeah, nobody likes to edit nothing.
So so you're from Cuba, and Cuba obviously has like a lot of old school cars, and here there's like a mixture, depending on where you live, really. Well, LA is like everything.
Yeah, but everything is new here.
Yeah,
yeah. Like in America, everything is new.
Yeah. Like so, like, if you had to choose a car, like like a dream car, not a daily, like dream car, like what do you think it would be?
Dream car? I want to get that Tesla Roadster.
Oh, the Roadster.
I want to see that.
So you like the EVs, huh?
Oh yeah, he's a Tesla fan.
I do. I really like Teslas.
Eat your heart out.
Well, it's like I like tech and cameras and computers and all that. But other than that,
have you driven like the other EVs, the other companies' EVs, like Mercedes or like Lucid or what's the other one, the truck one, that cool one? Rivian, yeah.
They all look ugly to me.
They all look ugly. He likes a Tesla.
He likes a Tesla.
What do you think of the Cybertruck?
It looks fucking cool. I want it. I can put an order in for it.
Wow.
Like, I want to get it.
So you're obviously a big Elon Musk fan.
He's fun. He's a weird guy. I like him.
You like weird guys. You know, I heard he's gonna fight the guy from Mark Zuckerberg. You don't think that's real?
That's cap.
What are you talking about? That's crazy. It's all over social media.
And they're just
fucking around, huh? One big ruse.
They're pulling on our strings.
I think he needs that Twitter stock to go up after he bought it. Can you believe that guy bought Twitter?
I don't even use Twitter, bro.
You know, the guy has
Twitter?
Twitter. No, but the guy has. I mean, just so much money.
Ben, do you have Twitter account?
I don't.
Dude, I have a Twitter account.
But now, do you have a Threads account?
I have a Threads now.
Oh, you do.
So that's probably going to kill him right there, right?
That's what Zuckerberg's trying to do.
You know, I would much rather fuck around on Threads, by the way, than to go on another app and tweet and do all this bullshit that I don't know how to do. But anyways, people tweet all the time, and it's a very big deal. And I have a Twitter account. I got to get on it more.
You should get on and fight with people.
Yeah, no, I'm not about that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
Not sexual.
Listen, put me in a movie, Axe. What's up?
You could be in a movie. You're funny, bro.
I got a whole story, bro. I got a whole origin story.
Yeah. What would be your dream character that you would play?
You know, like the guy that gets all the girls. You know, just hanging out. You know, the
but you
gambler.
want that for the movie, or
You're
do you want that for real life?
The degenerate gambler. I could be. I could play.
He's like I don't know. You're somewhere in between like Jack Black and Jonah Hill.
Maybe I could do like a Jack Black. Like later on as you know, he gets. You know how they do like a documentary and they put somebody else in there. I'd be a good Jack Black.
Nah, for me, you're like Fluffy's cousin.
Fluffy's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the big guy.
Yeah. Well, he got smaller now.
Oh, Fluffy?
Yeah, he
What
hit
happened?
the gym. He did diet. Like,
he's actually a big car enthusiast. He's got VWs.
He's
like
got
a
a ton of
motherfucker.
VWs. Yeah.
we need to get him on this show.
We need to get him on the show. Do you have any connections, CJ? You're laughing like you know who the guy is.
Yeah, I might have some.
Okay, well that's the first one for Fluffy. So, I saw the project that you did. You did a project recently. I think you just dropped it a few days ago.
Yeah, which one?
The one with Justin Waller.
Jay Waller. Yeah,
With
that
Jay
was
Waller.
today. That dropped today.
That's dope, man. So
Congratulations.
How did you get to know? How did you get connected with him?
Well, I've been watching a lot of Justin's videos before, and I had another super dope guy. His name is Logan. Shout out to Logan. Logan is this like 20-year-old kid that has like the wit and the mind of like a grown-up. And we did an episode about, women dating multiple women, learning how to control like the situation with women, and like, because I don't, Chuck, you're asking for a lot of like, you want to be around models.
Control. Take control.
Yeah, you have to take control.
So you knew Jay Waller through a mutual friend, and he came on your podcast.
Yeah, so what happened was Logan came on my show, and we had a great episode, and then we talked for a while, super bright kid. And then I'm watching some of Logan's videos, and I see that he had an interview with Jay Waller. So I asked him, I would love to have Justin on the show. So he put me in touch with his manager.
That's cool.
So I sent him a message. Like, I remember I sent Justin a message, and I was like, yo, like, I watched this video of you. This part really spoke to me. I would love to have you on. I just had Logan on, and he said that you might be interested. So that's how it happened.
Was that here in LA?
We filmed here in LA, yeah. So we were going to go to Miami, and I was going to shoot with him in Miami, but then that trip didn't happen. And then Justin, I also pitched him to be on my other show that I produce, Impact Theory, with Tom Bilyeu. So that's dropping next week, and that interview is going to be fire. You definitely have to check out that interview. I can't wait to
follow. I follow all your content. I like all your shit. It's definitely, it's top tier stuff. So when you sat down with Jay Waller, did you talk about Andrew Tate?
I didn't talk to him directly. Like, Andrew came about in the conversations,
right.
But it was more like a normal, it's just a normal thing. Almost like if I sit down with you and then you mention Chuck as like, oh yeah, Chuck. So it was
Chuck,
like that.
I hate that guy.
Hey, yo, Chuck.
Oh God, he just rubs me all the wrong way.
So we talked about Andrew, but not in like, oh, tell me about Andrew. Like, because I'm not into, like, I would love to meet Andrew and have a conversation with him. And I know that Justin is really good friends with him. So it was part of the conversation. But I don't know, once you start growing on your podcast and you start having more contact with like celebrities and people at that level, you are going to realize that you're not going to have the same curiosities that you have as someone looking from the outside.
Right.
Because by the time you're able to get that connection to actually be around those people, you are going to be one of them. So for you, it's going to be just like talking about like your friend here.
Nonchalantly.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you had mentioned earlier that you were once a part of the Hustlers University.
Yeah. So I remember last year, my brother was actually the one who sent me a video about Andrew. And since that moment, we started watching a lot of videos. There was one video where it's Andrew and Tristan, and they're talking about their brotherhood relationship. Right. So
and that hit a spark for you guys.
Because you guys are obviously brothers.
Yeah, 100%.
And for the people that aren't watching, we have CJ, which is Axe's brother, and so they're very, very involved with each other. You guys do business together. You guys shoot together, film together, produce together. That's dope. So what did you?
What's the age difference?
Yeah.
About 6 years.
Oh wow, you guys look very close in age.
Right.
Who's older? You're older. Oh.
No, I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the older one? Oh, okay.
We
It's
can't
hard to
tell.
It's hard
we
to
can't
tell.
CJ. Don't worry.
So that's good. You guys are taking care of yourself. Oh, okay.
What are some of the things that you learned in Hustlers University?
Well, Hustlers University is very tactical and it's all about making money in all of these different areas. So when I joined, it was through Discord, and it was very well organized. You join a campus, it's called, and then you pick what area you want to make money in.
Right.
So in my case, I picked freelancing, and I was doing it like I didn't expect to make money out of, I'm going to join this class and learn how to make money. I was just curious to see like what was in it, because they kept talking about it. So I started taking classes on the freelancing side, and to be honest, everything that they taught, it was like classes, because every campus has a different professor, which is a person that is actually doing the business. So on the freelancing side, it was this guy who was running a media agency, and he had clients, and then he was breaking down step by step, this is how you get freelance clients.
Right.
So copywriting, this is how you do copywriting. Do this, learn how to do this. And it was very like...
Are these all webinars, or they're like, it's an actual place?
It's all online. Everything online.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So you were watching the pre-recorded classes, and then every week they had live office hours where you could then ask him directly. So imagine that you're trying to blow up the podcast, and let's say you start a media company, you try to make money that way.
And if there was somebody I can ask all these questions, man, that would be dope. So it was definitely beneficial to you.
Oh, 100%. And to me, it was a lot of the things that I watch all the videos I already knew, but I was thinking, dude, like when I went to college and I took marketing classes and business class and all that.
You didn't one ear and out the other, dude.
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
Everything was kind of outdated. So you would go to college and pay like what, $6,000 to $10,000 for a semester.
Just to learn about shit that you're not going to have to do anything with.
Yes.
Like business statistics.
Oh, I hated that class.
Jesus Christ,
Oh
man.
my God.
I mean, that
was the worst
I lost
class I
so
ever
much
took in my-
hair from
Yeah.
business statistics, and I don't even remember anything about it. But yeah, no, that is true. You know, I'm a big advocate when it comes to education, as long as, you know, it's real world stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like in the field. And when I, you know, learned about business and things like that, none of the stuff that I learned about business in college applied to the real world shit, like paying taxes, dealing with employees, you know, all this tax liability bullshit that they just want you to fuck up on, you know, and then, you know, you pay penalties and this, that, and the third. So it's almost like they don't want you to learn about this shit, you know,
Yeah, and the other thing is the networking side of things. So like in your business, like any other business, you need to have people that bring business to you, that help you when you have a problem, that connect you with other people when you need to get connected to people. So there, I remember, because it's all chat based, so like you're talking to other guys that are young, that are trying to make money, and they're either ahead of you or behind on the thing that you're learning, because you're also, sometimes you might have, let's say, guys like you that are very successful in your business, and you're trying to learn how to do, let's say, Amazon or stocks. So you're going to go into that area and learn and connect with new, it could be like a 19-year-old kid that knows 10 times more than you about that one thing.
And that's really in the industry and real life. So, wow. So that is, you know, I just had this whole completely perspective about Hustlers University from what I've heard on media and stuff like. So I was totally misinformed. So now that you bring that to light, totally misinformed. So shout out to Hustlers University.
Yeah, and Justin, like, it was interesting to spend some time with him and just seeing how he honestly knows how to run businesses. Like, we were having dinner and we were having a conversation, and he was giving us actual advice to my friend Abraham and I. We want to do some like real estate investing, and he was actually telling us about like kind of what you were mentioning,
Step by step.
Yes, and like real, like if you do the loan this way and then you apply for this and then you do this and move the money this way, and then when you get the property, do this, like increase value here, like offer this to the person, sell it this way, connect with this agent, and like a lot of like actual real world, like he's an actual business guy, like he has a construction company that makes like a lot of money, and he started from nothing. So it was very interesting to see his story. He's not like another influencer that just went off to talk about like just fuck a bunch of women and like do this. Like he actually knows how to run businesses. So we definitely learned a lot from him. And the other thing was like the attitude of like just get things done and the push that you can do more. So definitely an interesting time that we spent with him, and
very valuable. Very valuable. Yeah, and I can't wait to see what other comes out. I know you gave us just a little bit of a teaser, right?
Yes,
on Instagram.
Yes, and the interview is live now. It just happened like 2 or 3 hours before we came here. So now you should definitely go check out that interview.
Nice.
And I don't know, maybe next time Justin is in LA, we need to take him out with some of his cars.
Justin, if you're listening, we got cars for you, baby.
Cars.
We got all kinds of flavors, so let's do it. All right, cool. So what are some other projects that you're working on?
So right now, my brother and I were creating a TV series, and we are early on the stages of developing the script, but it's going to be like a sexy drama that is all about love for Hollywood, for the entertainment business. I have some amazing actors that already signed on to it. I can't explain everything about it just yet, but we're going to be working on that project for the next 6 months, and we're going to make a massive show that is going to come out of that with beautiful story, the script, the acting. The setting is going to be Hollywood, and I want to bring Hollywood to a new light of glam and everything sexy, but also like real people that actually want to make cool stuff.
Right.
And not all of this. Like I feel like everything that you see in the movies and everything about Hollywood is like people just getting drunk or doing a bunch of drugs and having sex nonstop. We're going to have a little bit of that. But I also want to show like good stories and like people making a lot of money and creating movies and making cool stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do a lot of the people that you deal with, are they like YouTubers and influencers and stuff like that? Do you give them a shot?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Because what's happened is a lot of the attention is going to them.
Right. It's shifting to them.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, they have.
And that's also another
reach.
big part of that whole probably strike is that, you notice that like legacy media right now, it's like nobody's tuning in to watch CNN anymore because they know it's, some of it's not true. So they go into people like Patrick Bet-David, like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Patrick is awesome.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of them. And so, so it's shifting to people more on YouTube and stuff like that. So you're giving them a shot, and you have them in your projects. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I started the podcast. And my mentor, Tom Bilyeu, he sold his company for $1 billion, Quest Nutrition, the protein bar company.
Okay, yes.
And then he took that money to create a new studio.
Lovely.
Because he wanted to make movies and video games and tell stories that can go to people. And he started his podcast, and now it's like millions of followers, and we get to interview like the brightest people in the world.
Wow, that's
they
cool.
come to us, and like we have these interviews that like 5 years ago that did not exist. And now even this, like
the way that we met didn't exist. We met through networking off of Instagram. So that's dope. That's really dope. That's really super valuable. And thank you for bringing that to light. So besides you being this hotshot, big film producer and stuff, up and coming, you know what I mean?
I'm still here struggling, Chuck. I'm still here.
I don't know.
Good
Hollywood
guy.
glam, yeah.
What are some of your hobbies that you like to do off the set? What do you like to go do out in LA? I mean, you've been here for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you went places, you hung out. What do you like to do for fun?
For fun, I love to train with my brother, my best friend Abraham and Reggie, and we just beat each other up.
That's
and we
what's
punch
up.
each other in the face.
Discipline.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
MMA action, little fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do Krav Maga.
Oh, let's get Chuck in there. Some Krav Maga.
I don't know if I'm built for that just yet.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that the when you get on your knees?
No, it's just this form. It's like
It's Israeli.
You don't even know what the fuck it
is. It's
Israeli
based.
Oh,
no,
really?
It's Israeli based. It's like Israeli army based, military based fighting.
Well, maybe I'll do a little session with you, CJ.
No, I don't recommend that. CJ will knock you out.
Oh, wow.
We had a session, like our friend Abraham came and like the three of us, we just took turns. We did like 30-second sparring sessions. And then Abraham was like, bro, like we were like, okay, let's do it next weekend. And then he's like, no, I had like 2 days that my head was like kind of slow. Like he can punch. Like CJ would knock you the fuck out.
Don't fuck with CJ.
Oh.
That's so you like training, you like sparring. What are some other hobbies that you have?
That's it, man.
You
like
married or anything, or
single?
I'm not married.
Oh, he's ready to mingle.
But I'm not. No. I have a
focus.
Special goddess in my life.
Oh,
Amen.
there you go.
Amen.
Very nice.
It's good to have that because it'll keep you grounded. A nice, good relationship will keep you grounded. Yeah, just not for me though.
No,
not for me. CJ.
You want all the models.
No,
I can't be grounded. I'm like lightning bolts.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Let's get into that because it's always fun to talk about that with guys.
Yeah, we have some crazy stories about these cars. These cars behind us, they hold a certain type of power.
So so tell me, like you pull up in the Lambo and then you get any chick. Like,
see, listen, when a guy like me pulls up in the Lambo, it's kind of hard to get out of the Lambo. So what you do is you gotta you gotta plan around. What I usually do
is take the Urus.
The Urus, or I actually have Ben do the driving, and then we go and we mess around, but really not too much.
We're gonna take out the speedster tomorrow.
Yeah. So Ben got this brand new car at auction. Tell him about that. Tell him about that Porsche Speedster.
Oh, 1956 Porsche Speedster rebuild. So the only thing on it that's old is the chassis. But it's built by a company called Vintage Motor Cars. They're the only ones that are like licensed to build those cars. Like there's a lot of different kit cars, right? You can buy Cobra, Shelby Cobra Fords, and they're kit cars. But there's a company called Backdraft, and they make licensed ones, and they're really awesome. I would love to get one of those too. That's probably my next.
I mean, you saw it acts on the outside. It looks so pristine. It's a beautiful car.
It looks like it came straight out of 1956. Just old school mentality. It's small. You just feel like, I don't know. It brings it. It's weird. It brings a whole nother level of joy than like that Ferrari could.
Oh yeah.
Now I have a question though. Does that car get you more girls than a Lambo?
We're gonna find out tomorrow night.
I'm not sure.
You want to join us?
My opinion is that car. Since I've been driving around in it, I get a lot of thumbs up from guys and like 50, 60-year-old men, like, hey, and it's like every time I look and it's like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Oh my God, great car, man. Oh man. Meanwhile, like if I'm out in the F8, and I catch a light, there's two ladies and they're looking like, hey.
But you still get respect from the dudes out on the F8.
You get respect, but it's different. It's like, But, I will say, you pull up in the Lamborghini or the Ferrari, the guys see, like, douchebag.
Yeah.
You pull up in that 1956 Porsche. And
respect.
They're like,
fucking respect.
Yeah, man. Cool car, bro. They don't know. So it's just cool. And, I discovered it the first time I borrowed... I did a little swap-a-roo, but I borrowed a guy that I know. He has a C1 Corvette, like the version 1. And the steering wheel's huge. It's like you feel like you're Mickey Mouse driving that thing. And, yeah, everywhere I went, the gas stations, like I'm on the road, random people waving at me, honking. I felt like I was Mickey Mouse, like, oh, boy, waving at people.
Do it again.
Oh, boy. And, when I'm in the Ferrari, no one does that. No one, like, sits there and waves at me and says hi. And it's different. They're like standoffish or, but you do get the girls that, bite their lip and look at you,
Chuck the duck.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it's a different type of nostalgia when you're in these cars. And, there's a lot of power in it. Even when you pull up, you drive to L.A., everybody wants valet. Or when you drive up to valet, everybody wants to know who you are. What do you do? And then it also brings a lot of trouble. I mean, Ben's been followed around in some of these cars, so you have to be careful, keep your guard up. But so So yeah, no, we got dinner tomorrow at Nobu tomorrow night in the Porsche Speedster, and I'll let you know how it is.
If it doesn't go well, we'll take out the Ferrari on Sunday.
You'll see it on the gram and all kinds of stuff.
I got a question for you guys. So, what does a guy have to do to get one of these?
To rent one or to buy one?
I think to buy one. Because this is the thing.
You either have to have massive cash flow.
No, you don't. Listen. You have to have good credit. Okay.
Good credit.
And you have
and
to
cash
have some
flow.
good money up front, right? And you got to be able to make to afford.
Well,
the
yeah,
payment,
it's called
right?
cash flow. I mean, these car payments are $5,000-$6,000 a month.
You don't fucking buy a car like this all cash, right? You don't do that. In this situation, my buddy has a proprietary business solution to where if you want to buy one of these cars and you don't want to see it depreciate, this is the guy to talk to, so you can have a fun in your vehicle, and also not have that big depreciation that a lot of people see. Because when you see these cars, you automatically think, oh, wow, he's wasting his money on these cars. You know what I mean? And so it's really not like that. But yeah, so that's what BenDriveLa does, and it's pretty cool. So if you ever want to know specifically, we'll teach you the game. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking for the guys watching, because I bet like everyone watching right now are dudes. So I want every guy to be able to like have this as an attainable goal and then work for that.
Certainly attainable and very easy. You just have to have the time, and you gotta sit down and know what you're doing. Especially
I mean, if you want to,
typically
if you want to have a Ferrari, let's say your payment's like $5,000 a month, you have to make. Banks want to see you making about $25,000 to $30,000 a month in income.
And some people don't have that, but that's okay. It's attainable.
Anything's attainable if you just put. I mean,
join Hustlers University.
I mean, it's one thing about the country we live in. It's really great. I mean, you could really do whatever you want, and if you put enough time into it and you like learn the craft and you have a passion for it, you can be good at anything you try and.
So this is absolutely attainable. What you see behind us, and it's definitely real. And so tap in. So if you're watching this, throw a like, throw something in the comments. We'll tell you what time it is. BenDriveLa to the moon.
Very gusty.
BenDriveLa coin. Well, it was a pleasure speaking to you, Axe. There's a lot to learn about you, and we look forward to seeing you grow. In the whole entire the film industry, and we hope you're not affected by these these strikes, and you're able to.
Well, hopefully
to
it ends. Yeah.
Hopefully it ends soon, and hopefully you put your boy in a big hot shot movie. I'm ready anytime you want.
We need to make that happen.
We need to make that happen. So Ben, any last things for you?
No, just if you make a movie, I'll be in it too.
Yeah.
Just make sure I'm like make sure I'll be like the love interest of whatever attractive female you have on the show. I'm welcome to do that.
You're gonna be the douchebag boyfriend.
Yeah.
No. I'll be the sweet one. Actually, I'll be whatever you want me to be. I'll be nasty. I'll be mean. I'll be nice. Whatever you want.
There'll be definitely some collaborations in the future, and we look forward to you and your brother's success. So yeah, absolutely. So cash, cars, and superstars, baby.